did not begin as a city of light. It began as a city of smoke, of bells, of damp wood, cold stone, and dark water. Before the revolution, before the barricades, before the blade, this is Paris as it existed for centuries, medieval, pre-revolutionary, overcrowded, and waiting to break. By the early 1700s, Paris was one of the largest cities in Europe. Roughly 500,000 people were compressed into narrow streets with no sanitation and no silence. There were no wide boulevards yet, no clean air. Most people never left their neighborhood. If you were born poor here, you would likely die poor here. If you were wealthy, you still breathed the same air. Someone like you lived here every day. Everything begins on the island. Ile de la Cité was the heart that never stopped beating. Bridges poured people into it at dawn. Clerks, priests, beggars, criminals. The river wrapped around the island slowly, like a living moat. At first light, fog swallowed the rooftops. Bells cut through the air. Smoke rose from the chimneys where families cooked what little they had. Power lived here, so did fear. Notre Dame dominated the city, stone upon stone. Faith turned into architecture. Its doors never closed. The poor slept against its walls. The clergy passed without looking. Every class crossed the square. Every rumor, every confession. If you were born poor, this would be your cathedral, but it would never truly belong to you. The Seine was the city's bloodstream and its sewer. Along the banks, washerwomen scrubbed clothes in the same water where waste was dumped. Barges unloaded goods. Dead fish floated past. Children played nearby anyway. There was no choice. The river fed Paris. It also made it sick. Everything depended on it. Les Halles was the city's belly. It never slept. Meat hung in the open air. Mud clung to shoes. Vendors shouted over one another. Rats waited patiently. If bread ran short here, the entire city felt it. Hunger spread faster than disease. Remember this place. It will matter. Most Parisians lived on streets where sunlight barely reached the ground. Houses leaned inward, almost touching. Laundry blocked the sky. Waste flowed through the gutters. 6, 8, sometimes 10 people to a room. The noise never stopped. Neither did the smell. This was normal. South of the river, words mattered. In the Latin Quarter, students argued law, theology, philosophy. Latin echoed through the streets. Ideas traveled faster than armies. Questioning kings was still dangerous, but it had begun. Revolutions start like this, with conversations. On the Pont Neuf, Paris mixed together. Street performers, merchants, pickpockets, rich and poor, side by side, laughing, watching. If news spread, it crossed this bridge first. Here, the city talked to itself. The Louvre was not yet a museum. It was a fortress, thick walls, guards, distance. Royal power lived behind barriers, physical and social. Most Parisians would never enter. They did not need to. They felt its weight every day. At the Place de Grève, power was public. Announcements were read aloud, punishments carried out, executions watched. The crowd learned to observe authority and to see it fall long before 1789. To the east, the city worked. Faubourg Saint-Antoine, carpenters, artisans, laborers, hands hardened by wood and iron, minds sharpened by hunger and injustice. When change came, this district would not hesitate. At the city gates, everything was counted. Goods, taxes, people. Disease entered easily. It was rarely stopped. Paris was a pressure cooker. Everything went in. Nothing truly escaped. Above it all, Montmartre watched. Windmills turned slowly. Thin vineyards clung to poor soil. Dirt paths led uphill. From here, Paris looked calm. It was not. This was Paris before the revolution, before banners, before shouting crowds, before the blade fell, a city stretched to its limits, old, crowded, unforgiving. The streets remembered everything. They still do. If you have walked these places, tell me what you felt. And if we time travel again, which city should we go to next?